This video introduces the Generative AI application lifecycle. The Generative AI application lifecycle outlines specific steps for adapting a foundation model, or FM, for a specific generative AI application. The main steps in the lifecycle include defining a use case and selecting an FM, improving performance and evaluating results, deploying the application, and monitoring, auditing, and getting feedback from the live application. Your student guide provides additional details on each of the steps discussed in this video. To define a use case, consider a best practice used by AWS development teams and recommended to AWS customers. This practice is called working backwards. Working backwards involves putting customers at the heart of the business, embracing a customer-centric approach to innovation, and harnessing the power of analytics and cloud computing to solve common business problems. Customers might include employees, partners, patients, or other stakeholders. Properly defining the use case requires collaboration between technical teams and business stakeholders to ensure alignment with organizational goals, resources, and skill sets. The next step is to select an FM based on the use case. This is where you consider all of the model selection criteria discussed in the Working with Foundation Models module. Improving performance focuses on enhancing the selected model to better suit your use case. To do this, you might practice a combination of many of the techniques you've learned about, including applying prompt engineering techniques, using an augmentation technique like retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, or fine-tuning the model with domain-specific data. Another part of improving performance is optimizing the speed and cost of using and managing the application. For example, RAG has less upfront costs and effort to implement, but probably can't respond as fast as a fine-tuned model in the same domain. Your student guide includes additional details about AWS options in Amazon Bedrock and Amazon SageMaker AI for addressing performance. Evaluating results is a step that comes into play multiple times as you refine your solution. When it comes to preparing to launch a live application, you need to rigorously assess the model's performance using relevant metrics and test data sets. This stage helps to make sure that the solution meets the defined objectives and performs reliably. When evaluating model performance, consider how a model performs across multiple test data sets, not just a single benchmark. The deployment phase is characterized by integration of the optimized model into production systems and implementation of any necessary infrastructure and monitoring tools. In this stage, you also establish processes for ongoing maintenance and updates. The scope of activities and concerns for deployment depend significantly on how you plan to deploy and manage your generative AI application. It's important to include monitoring, auditing, and feedback as part of the generative AI lifecycle. Effective monitoring is an ongoing process that requires both proactive and reactive measures. By setting up comprehensive monitoring across infrastructure, model performance, and compliance, you can quickly detect and respond to issues. Effective AI system management combines automated monitoring with strategic human oversight. Remember, this life cycle is iterative. Insights gained from deployment and real-world usage often lead to refinements in earlier stages, which drives continuous improvement of your generative AI solutions. Here are a few key takeaways for this video. The generative AI application lifecycle defines steps for implementing a solution using a pre-trained FM. The lifecycle includes the following steps: defining a use case, selecting a model, improving performance, evaluating results, deploying the application, and monitoring, auditing, and feedback.